How to win Norland. Number 1. Don't die. That seems complicated. Explain it with a sock puppet.
You're never gonna win, Dave. Give up, you fucking loser.
Hello. Yes, Norland. It is a slippery fish to fry, and there's a number of reasons. Maybe it's where it's in early access. Maybe it's intentionally very fucking hard to do. I really don't know. So I'm going to run through what I've found in about 30 hours in the game. I had recorded a number of other episodes on the game, but yeah, I just kept getting shitted for various different reasons. Starting provinces, if you're going to have the unholy horde, which spawns over here on, you kind of want to be far away from them. So building over here or here, yeah, you may get shat on quite early because the unholy horde can field about 90 people. So if you look at the cities when you highlight them, it tells you the resources you have. Here you have 2 wood, 2 iron, 1 flowery thing which is used for medicine, and 2 farmers' fields which you can use. So if we go to Silverhaven, choosing your culture is important. I would suggest going for Varn because they have a production bonus with rutabaga fields, pig farms, herbalist I don't use so much. But yes, the rutabaga fields, keeping your population fed, that's a little tricky at the start. So yeah, Varn's probably the best one I've found so far. So the first village, you can choose what resources they bring you. Now there's 2 resources here that run out, and that is wood and iron. So every few days a village will bring around 100 wood once they're fully developed and around 30 iron. If you don't have it, you're going to run out of iron. Let's go on to the next one. This doesn't matter so much, that's up to you really. Unholy Horde, again, up to you, however you want to play it. I find excess iron's quite good. If you don't have this on, you'll only get 500 iron in total, and that will prevent you from building weapons and, most importantly, making paper. Strength in numbers is quite useful to have. It means your peasants and prisoners have decided that no one will protect them better than themselves, but it gives them a combat bonus, so when you're raising an army, they're slightly stronger. And longevity as well, meaning your characters live for longer. They don't die out and they don't lose all the knowledge. I usually go for normal here and I whack up the golds because we're going to start buying stuff straight away. So here we are. Here's our basic town. Oh, right, we went for a prisoner one, so she's taken prisoner by bandits, which we have no way of attacking for a long time. Okay, fuck that. So you can have 5 lords in total. It's worth getting them all as soon as possible. And what I do is I clump by jobs. So over here we have a mine and we have farm fields. So what I would do is put my resources down. So let's do a couple of rutabaga fields. And then when it comes to it, when I've got the research, I stick a couple of rye fields down there. I have mills and I have a brewery up here and then a mine up there. And that's pretty much one lord can do all that within reason. Most important thing to get going first of all though, it's a couple of lumber mills. And what I tend to do is upgrade them to their maximum, buy the book for the upgrade. And yeah, they're going to be providing enough wood for your needs, most likely. To start off with, you need more housing. The cheapest and easiest for peasants is a dormitory. But eventually we'll be looking to upgrade those to peasant houses, which gives them a happiness buff. It's worth building roads everywhere as well. Then that way, your peasants and your lords, they move about 30% faster. So skipping forward 36 days, one of the most important buildings to get the research from off the trader first is the temple. If you don't have the temple, people are going to get unhappy that they have nowhere to go and worship. There are 2 ways you can manage it. You can have a sermon of faith and a sermon of doubt. Sermon of doubt means they worship your king, although in this playthrough, I've only got 4 people out of just over 60 worshipping the king. And then the sermon of faith, once you get people as fanatics, then you need to make your king a saint by going to the bishop and asking for a blessing. But if you have a negative relationship with the matriarch, that's not going to happen. And I think later on in the game, you're going to have a negative relationship with the matriarch if you're going to expand at all. As it says in the top left corner, aggression against a neighbour -16. I don't know how long that lasts for. Doesn't say. And attack neighbours. Again, not too good for us. So after you've got the wood choppers, you've upgraded them, you then get the temple, you then get some housing, and you keep on building housing. With the dormitories, I always plan so that I have a capacity of 10 more peasants than I actually need for. So that way when people come, they don't get unhappy. As I said at the start, I've kind of put all these under one person. So I've got 4 rye fields and a hop field here now. And I've stuck the rutabaga fields just on normal ground. They're at 40% on normal ground. I think that's the best performing on normal ground. So I stick them there and they seem to be doing okay. The mine, yeah, upgraded. I've upgraded it once. If I was playing with normal levels, I'd only be able to get maximum 500 iron out. So that's why I upgraded that, because we will need them for weapons. So finance, you do need to keep an eye on this. Every now and then there'll be an exclamation mark and it will say people are speculating. So that means they come in your town, buy your goods and then go off and sell it elsewhere. So it takes goods out of your economy. So the best way I've found to deal with that is put the prices up so speculation stops, and then put the peasants' wages up. I make it so they can afford at least a rutabaga and some moonshine. It's worth keeping an eye on all your lords. If they have a desire, make sure you fulfill it if you can. Quite often it's going to be a desire for a reward. There you go, which is rings. So always make sure you buy from the Holy Trader or Holy Caravan the rings, because then you can just go plus king reward. That'll give Danyalva some rings and she'll be happy. So I've got my max of 5 people there. I've also hired a couple of my children that have come, but I can't make them lords. You're restricted to 5. Next thing is training. So with the army, I usually have 10 to 15 people in a permanent army, and I set them in the training grounds, which you have to research, with one person, and their only job is to do that training ground. And then when I need to go on the map and do some attacking, they can come out of there. And yeah, it's only that one building that's not getting managed, and it doesn't matter because there's no army there. If I need a bigger army, I just go here and I will go to warriors and I expand it from the populace and maybe even from my prisoners as well. And then I've got 2 barracks. Each barracks holds 10 people, so you need to make sure that your warriors are housed, otherwise they get a little bit unhappy, funnily enough. Here I have started upgrading into peasant houses, and yeah, I just stick them all together and try and squeeze in as many as possible. I'm going to need to do more there. Later on in the game, it's worth building a warehouse after you've got your farming, food and mining set up. And then moving on from there, the next thing I'll probably do, once I've got the research, coal furnace to make coal. Set that to make around 20. It uses wood to make it. The next most important thing, and you want to upgrade this as much as possible whenever you can, is the workshop, because it produces tools. So to upgrade these buildings, I'm going to need tools. Upgrade this one, I'll probably need tools as well. Yep, the paper workshop. And you want the paper workshop upgraded as much as possible. And the paper workshop itself uses tools and wood, I believe it is, to make paper. Ooh, we can make some swords. Where are you? Yeah, tools and wood. So you're always going to need the tools. So the workshop is vitally important. And then last of all, I start building my weapon forge and my armor forge. Now, I've not really gone for steel because that's quite resource intensive, but it may be worth doing that. And then you can build heavy armor with the right book, and axes and swords as well, which we have here. But you do need, I think it's a smithy or something like that. I do actually have it here. Smelting furnace? Yes, it's a smelting furnace. I don't think I've researched that. Now, with research, it's worth keeping hold. Ooh, hop field efficiency. That's a good one. We should be learning that. Veshnika, get learning. Yeah, with all the books, I try and keep them because if a character dies, in this case it's Veshnika, she knows most of my research. If she dies, then we're going to lose all that information and we need to start buying the books again. So it's worth holding on to that. For money, the best thing I found to do is twofold, really. First is the finance screen, which we've been in already. Just make it so the peasants can afford basic food, basic alcohol, and then nothing much else. So they'll take their wages and then they give that money back to you. So you're not really losing. Sometimes you even make a little. The other thing that's good to do is where you find them, bandit camps, there's one, plus attack, and then send out your army. You only need 10 trained people with either maces. Maces are the best weapon to have. So let's just quickly do this. Sadanyava, she's my warrior. Yeah, maces. I buy these from the Holy Trader to start off with, and then I start making up to about 30 of those. Same with spears as well. But maces, they knock people out, and then you have them as either prisoners to work on your farms and fields, or you have them to sell to the Holy Trader and make some money that way. Plus you get about 100 gold, 125 it says here. 125 when you knock it out. Now, the hardest thing I found is expanding. Now, fuck alliances, because alliances, you're not going to get tribute from the villages. So what I've found is best to do is twofold, really. If they're a single entity and you have bad juju with them, I can't find a single entity here, everyone's in an alliance, you can go there, you can go to politics, and you can threaten to burn to the ground. They usually say piss off, and then you go and burn it to the ground, and then you send a lord in. Now, you have to be careful. If you send a married lord, so Stepanova's vet is married to Minerva, I think. If I was to send Minerva or Stepanoz's vet over to take over the town once it's been burnt to the ground, he would take his wife or she would take him with her. So you lose out on 2 lords. That's why I've got these 2 spare lords that I'm making sure, or trying to make sure, are friendly with our king, Veladar. As long as they have a relationship 25, you can recruit them straight away. So that's one way of doing it. And the other way, which is a pain in the dick, let's just see who's got the shittest army here. Okay, you're actually particularly strong. All right, let's go for this one. The other way of doing it is politics, demand vassalage. And usually I send a messenger, but yeah, we're going to send one of our spare lords. Silomir can go and do it. So here, go over to that town, demand vassalage, and then they get back to us. Now, the problem is, once I went and did that demand vassalage, it says here what it does. It reduces relationships with neighbours to -9, that, and the matriarch -9 as well. So that's not just him and maybe these people, it's our own vassals as well. So the only way I've found to combat that is improve relations, offering from the king, send a messenger with a bit of money. This time I'm going to use my Dremel. That's actually a drill kind of thing. And this time I'm going to make an offering with Silomir's actually off, isn't he? Maybe he can do it. Fuck it, Danyava, she can go over. She's not doing anything. She's just waiting to raise an army. So this one I had already burnt to the ground, but then they sent a lord over to take it, the bastards. So what's going to happen? We currently have a neutral 2. No, let's go here. We're good relationship 7. We're going to deliver our demands for them to become vassals. And then that's gone down. It's gone down a fair bit. So to mitigate that, yes, I'm sending over gold and I'm trying to improve the relationships that way. Because I have the gold to spare, because these guys, they're paying us tribute. And then I will do that a number of times as well. So offering that money, we've brought this dude back up to neutral. And this dude, his neutral -1, but we've got some more money going soon. It's 200 gold a time. And then, yeah, we're going to improve relationships out, which will be exactly what we want. This guy's going to think for a while and then they get back to us. Now, what they may do, if they have an ally and a neighbour with a strong army, like this dude appears to, they may send an army over to help him. Because at the moment, he's got like one guy there. That's an easy one to take. And we have success. You present me with a hard choice to see my kingdom destroyed or pay an unbearable tribute. I choose the tribute. But remember, Holy Sophia sees all. She does. We've probably lost a bit of relationship there. The market volume for all goods has increased. So that means we can sell more to a trader now without pissing them off. If we go to this town, they probably hate... No, they don't. So we now have 1, 2, 3 vassals. They're paying us money. Our gold's coming in. And then we can move to the next one. Once we've conquered towns, we need to keep an eye on them and find out what's going on with them. They may have troubles. So this one, protection against rebellion. So if we go to the tasks, we've got the heirs rebellion, and it tells us they have 50% support. If we do help the heirs rebellion low, we're increased loyalty or the friendliness with the Tumna. Oh, fuck it. Let's keep stepping slavin. So what we're going to do is we're going to send aid on local map, create new squad. Dunyava's back. Let's give her all the warriors. And then we can stick in some weapons. So what have we got? Doing okay there. I'm going to try and go in with maces. I do like taking prisoners. So if we click create, select it, that should be enough to fight off the rebellion. They don't have a big army here. So yeah, we're going to deal with that, no problems. And our character will go there. They'll deal with that. They'll stay there for a few days. And then, yeah, job done. You need to keep on top of everything that goes on with your villages. Otherwise, they will rebel and turf you out. Now, moving forwards, I think the most I've got to is about 7 provinces. And then I fell foul of the not having iron income. None of my neighbours wanted to trade with me either because they all fucking hated me, even though they're my vassals. Ooh, trader. So notice we've got 3 towns and we're getting tribute here. It's not that they pay this every day. It's just that the trader hasn't been in a while, so it's built up. Now what's happened? They're taking money for a tax on warriors, but we're more than matching that with our tribute from vassals. And this is how you get your gold up and strong. Now, stuff you can sell. Food is always a good thing to sell, or rye, or, well, rye, if the price is good enough. If you have enough. If you don't bother. Wood as well, you can sell that, but wood is a finite resource, so it's worth holding on to. They're the rings I mentioned. You can only get them from a holy trader. Always worth buying them. It's always worth looking through the books. What you can do is you can check what books you have already and compare and see if there's any worth buying. And we have prisoners as well. We can sell those, and that's going to make us about 400 there. So yeah, we're going to take half his money. We could probably sell more stuff, but yeah, fuck that. That's good enough for now. Population. You do need to keep an eye on your population. When you start off, peasants are slow to come, and as you can see on the left here, it says workers needed for open jobs 7. That's where I've just sold a bundle of prisoners. So yeah, you always need to keep an eye on that. And I think that's about it. Now, what I'm going to do moving forward, I'm just going to continue playing this and recording and seeing how I get on. I think the trick is take a town by demanding vassalage. Either it comes over as a vassal or I fight them with my army. If my army's not big enough at any given time, I just draft loads of my population in there, or maybe even hire people because we've got a load of gold now. And then I go to war. You can also, if you go to a bandit camp, you can buy prisoners off people. You can buy various different things. You can buy rings as well. So yeah, bandit camps are quite useful for getting your population up too. So the strategy now is take a town, make sure our lords are happy by giving them tribute or anything to improve relations. Maybe send the king over to do some flesh wolf hunting or something like that. Make sure you give people aid. If there's a bandit camp that appears in their territory, take it out. That'll improve relationships as well. But yes, it's just worth keeping the relationship up as much as possible. Oh good, we got a messenger. I'm going to send one over because they're going to lose 10 when I threaten Moon Lake. So capture, consolidate, make people happy and keep going on. All the while keeping an eye on your lords, making sure their desires are filled and that they don't want to kill each other as well. and then just keep a few spare people that you can't actually give titles to, and just use them to send around, deliver messengers, maybe even use them to make armies if you need one. Oh yes, one bonus tip. Once you have your later game industries running, such as the coal furnace, and keep it upgraded, keep it getting upgraded, the coal furnace, the workshop and the paper mill, then you can focus on building a chancellery. So this is brilliant. This means one lord can do the work of 20 people. One lord goes here, spends all day here, and sends out orders using paper to all the different buildings. So one lord can do most of our economy, just as long as we keep the paper coming. So that's where production comes into play. Try not to get things you don't need too much. Just build as many as you think you'll need, like 30 shields. Okay, let's do 40 shields, 40 armor, 30 maces, 30 spears, 30 bows. Once they're built, don't sell them, don't build any more. Just focus those tools on paper, and then your town can be run by one person and you can have more armies out on the field. Yeah, it's a good thing to be doing. Once I've captured the 12 provinces required, it's time to tell the Holy Matriarch to fuck off. Ideally, you keep the Holy Matriarch in a good standing with yourself. If you don't, the trader has less items to sell to yourself. I think you need a 50 relation, which I've not actually done before. And then you can buy everything the trader has, including swords and axes. Now, the Unholy Horde's going to be making their way over here. By the time they get close to me, ideally, I'll have lots of armor and I'll have lots of weapons and a lot more population. So I'll be able to fight them off. And then I'll have gold coming in from all my vassals. So yeah, I'll be able to afford to do it. Yes, that's it. Thank you very much for watching. I will put the link to the playlist in the description. If you want to see me carry on playing through, then by all means, please do. Please also subscribe if you haven't already, and maybe I'll release some of the prisoners I have in my dungeon. Anyway, thanks a lot. Bye-bye.